Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. Lately we're talking a lot about hiring and firing, the responsibilities of a job, etc. So today we'll touch upon another point, and that is at what point of the job is the person become meshubed. The owner has to make sure to pay the salary, and at what point could the owner say, I don't need you anymore, or I don't like you, and fire him? So, first of all, in Shulchan Aruch, in Choshen Mishpat, Siman Shin Lamed Gimel, the discussion is as follows. From when the kinyan was done, meaning to say, and the Shulchan Aruch elaborates what are the different forms of kinyanim. From when the agreement was done that this person is your employee, and let's take the simplest way. Tchilas ha'avoida, that the poil, the worker, began to work, then there is some common understanding that you like him, you want him, and you can't just fire him, just come one day and say genug. That's how it's discussed in the Shulchan Aruch, Choshen Mishpat, Siman Shin Lamed Gimel Seif Aleph. There are a few exceptions. The exceptions are, that says in Gemara like this: Amar Rava, Melame Tenoikis, Shoisel Eitzim, Shoichet, Reife V'Soifer. Melame Tenoikis is a Melamed, a teacher, a person who plants trees, like the roads in the olden times. The Shoichet, the doctor, and the Soifer. Kol Elu or Eisim Malacha Avur B'nei Ha'ir. If their job is to do community work for the B'nei Ha'ir, Harei Ehein K'moisrim Va'imdim. They are always ready and warned that if they chas v'shalom flap, as we'll soon see what the definition of their flap will be, im kilkulu b'malachtam, if they flap in their work, and garmu nezek, and they cause the damage, mutar lepoitram b'loy hasra. You're allowed to release them from the job, or as we say, fire them without any warning. Because as we mentioned before, once you take a responsibility to pay somebody, the common understanding is that that person has a job. And by firing him, you're causing him a nezek, a damage. Where is he going to find another replacement? Another place to work. So that is a nezek. When, however, it is a tzarchei rabim type of job, they always have to be on their toes, because al pidin, it doesn't have to be a hasra, and if it caused a nezek derabim, then they're free to go. In Shulchan Aruch Siman Shin Vav, there's sort of a discussion between the Mechaber and the Ramah. The Mechaber seems to say that being that they are on a high responsibility level of a job, tzarchei rabim, we don't have to warn them. And that is the specialty of being Isa Malacha of Kol HaTzibur. The Ramah, however, says even somebody who works for the Tzibur has to be warned. Hey, you're not doing good. Straighten out. And after the Hasra, and if he still continues falling, then you could fire him. Whereas the other jobs, for example, by a Melamed, it's extremely unique. What's unique about a Melamed? If somebody, for example, is a painter, and you fire him, there's a problem, once you made some kind of agreement. But if he won't paint your house, he could go out and find somebody else's house to paint. But a Melamed, being that these are one of the unique jobs, as it's elaborated in the Shal Shuvas of Moshe Feinstein, nobody looks for a teacher in the middle of the year. If a person is fired a month or 2 or 3 into the school year, he's going to be left 6 months, 8 months without a job, because until next year, nobody's hiring new Melamdim in an organized way. So the damage is much greater. So over there's a whole long discussion in the Achrayim, how do you rate the damage of a Melamed when you can't find a replacement work for yourself. Anyways, another interesting shaila that obviously becomes a problem, and that is with the new modern technology. There are people that are working for you for years and years with a pen and pencil, and they're doing accountings, And now everything is becoming so computerized, and these people are not equipped. They didn't go to school. They don't know all these new equipment. Would it be not fair or halachically not proper to fire those people because they are not doing it up to date? So obviously this could be split. This should be split into two matters. There is the halachic issue, and then there is the hakaras tov issue. The hakaras tov is, don't you remember, the first 10, 15 years of your business, this individual geschwitzt and doing it with a pen and pencil and did the accounting for you. And now, just because the time has become more modern, yes, but where is the hakaras tov? If there is, from the other hand, halachically, the person who is paying the bill doesn't necessarily have to lose money for this, but you always have to take these two issues in hand. And again, Reb Moshe Feinstein in Shalosh Teshuvos has a lot about these discussions. Another similar situation is there was a small business and they had 5 workers. Then Baruch Hashem, the business grew and a boom happened, and they were able to, they needed more workers. They hired 5 more. So now they have 10 workers. And that was a big bump. It was a big blow up, meaning to say it was a temporary boost. After a small period of time, it went back to normal. And now the owner comes and says, I don't need 10 workers anymore. I only need 5. I only need 5, the original number. So the original 5 people came to Rav Moshe and they said, excuse me, if he's going to fire anybody, he should fire the newer guys. They're not in it for so long. And Rav Moshe has a whole debate discussing, just because you were there longer or from earlier, does that give you a chazaka towards it or not? The bottom line is that we have to remember what it says in Pirkei Avos, that the Olam, the world, stands a mishpat and shalom and emes, and before we wheel and deal in any business matter, you have to see what Shulchan Aruch says, and then it will be ach tov l'Yisrael.